Waltrip still in command, leads them off into the first corner. Buddy Baker rides second, and there's just about a car length separation, Eli Gold, between the front three.
Right there, it's very tight. Earnhardt again going a bit higher in the turn. The lead automobiles going past Joe Boer, likewise past Cecil Gordon. Again, Waltrip is the leader, Baker second, Earnhardt third, Benny Parsons fourth, Yarborough fifth. Then comes Harry Gant, Bobby Allison, and Richard Petty.
In fifth position, where Yarborough is, he's right on the back bumper of Benny Parsons, pushing him almost into the turn. Waltrip brings them through, again low in the groove. Baker down low, and continuing to go high is Dale Earnhardt out of four.
As they work their way out of four and back to the start-finish line, whoever wins this one is going to have a little help from somebody behind. One car cannot pull out and simply pass the rest of the field or even that front car. Benny Parsons told me yesterday 2 cars working together can sometimes run down the leader.
Those 2 cars can draft right by. So, yeah, if there's 3 cars battling for the lead near the end, then it's really an open race as to who's going to win, because if the second car does pull out to pass, then the third car is going to pull out and try to pass both of them. So then you're going to go in the corner 3 abreast, and that makes it very interesting.
While we were listening to Benny Parsons, Kyle Petty begins to smoke heavily through 1 and 2. He shuts it down off the second turn.
Petty rolling very slowly down the backstretch. Kyle, that is, who was having a good, strong race. He was running 1 lap down behind the leaders, and he was within the top 15 cars.
Tough break for him. Here comes the front runners back to the start-finish line. Waltrip by 2 car lengths this time over Buddy Baker, then about another car length back to Earnhardt, and about a second and a quarter back to Benny Parsons and Cale Yarborough. They had linked up in a tight draft, and Eli, they looked like they'd make a little ground on the front threesome.
They're reeling them in. I bet we have a car upside into the wall now. The Armco retainer catches Cale Yarborough as the car got sideways. 1 other car, 2 other cars spin now as Buddy Baker spins. Likewise, other automobiles off turn number 2. 2 other cars spin midway down the back straightaway.
It's Earnhardt
and Waltrip. Earnhardt and Waltrip spin. Here come 2 other cars spinning off the turn. It's going to be Lake Speed spinning now towards the infield. Likewise, Roger Hamby, as everybody spins in turn number 1 and 2 after Cale Yarborough's car seemed to lift just a bit on the right side into the Armco retaining barrier.
Here comes the race back to the start-finish line. Running for the lead, it's Gant and Parsons coming to the stripe. Down to the low side, Gant, it's Allison, Bobby Allison, just ahead of Harry Gant and Benny Parsons to race back to the caution flag with 4 laps to go.
Cale Yarborough goes by the line, and the right front tire looks like it is bent in with a sheet metal on that car. He may be able to get back on pit road and get back out. The car still running at a pretty good rate of speed, but this late caution flag, the 7th one of the day, involving all those cars over in turn number 2, has really changed the complexion of this one. Buddy Baker getting an assist, being pushed away from the wall in turn 2. Let's go back to Eli Gold.
Well, it was a wild one. Cale Yarborough's automobile all of a sudden took a hard right into the Armco retaining wall. Then as his car came bouncing off, here came the rest of the pack. Again, remember how quite tightly everybody was running there among the lead pack. You had Lake Speed following up. Although a lap down, he was amongst the lead pack there. So too was Earnhardt, of course, and Darrell Waltrip. There came the Roger Hamby automobile. So too, of course, Cale and Buddy Baker, as we've already talked. And all of a sudden, in different locations, cars began spinning. Earnhardt and Waltrip were midway down the back straightaway before they began to spin. Yarborough, of course, bouncing off the turn 2 retaining wall. Then came Buddy Baker spinning at virtually the same location. Lake Speed spins off the turn towards the infield, and following suit was Roger Hamby. So it was a wild, wild scene. Seemed to begin as Yarborough's car turned into the Armco retaining barrier midway between turns 1 and 2, and there is some awfully crinkled sheet metal coming by.
The caution car has picked up Bobby Allison as the leader. Cale Yarborough comes by. Smoke, sparks, trailing from beneath his car as he's trying to limp along to the finish. Again, the cars involved. Kyle Petty appeared to let loose an engine down at turns 1 and 2 as he coasted down the backstretch out of harm's way. Along came the leaders. Yarborough spun, hit the wall and continued. Buddy Baker's car has moved off the wall. He's back underway. Darrell Waltrip has lost the right front of his car, but still going on all 4 wheels. Earnhardt was involved. Lake Speed and Roger Hamby are the cars that were in it up in turns 1 and 2. Allison, the leader behind the caution car, ahead of Harry Gant and Benny Parsons.
So as Waltrip limps across the start-finish line, lap 197 is posted on the board with 3 laps to go, and it looks like this one will finish under caution here this afternoon. If there's any possible way to get it back to green, the NASCAR officials will. Here is Buddy Baker in the pits. He got a piece of the wall over there. We can't see the left side of the car. Ned Jarrett is on pit road. He can tell us if there's sheet metal damage on it.
It does not appear to be too much, Barney, anything that would hurt him. I'm sure that they'll probably change tires on that car just to, in case the green does come back out, that would give him a good run for the front. He is bound to have flat spotted the tires as he spun around, but Waltrip and Cale Yarborough will have no shot at running for the lead. They just hope that it'll finish under caution so they can limp around and get some kind of a position.
Cale is on pit road right now, and Mike Joy has the glasses on. They had some trouble getting the jack under the car.
David If just finally got under the car. The right front had been completely blown out, both the tire and the inner liner, and Cale had to come around 2 laps as the caution car picked up the field before he could get to the pits. If has just reached in and just yanked the wheel off the car, what's left of it, which was trailing sparks all the way around the speedway. Awful lot of heat being generated there. They've got a new right front tire on the car. There's sheet metal damage at the back. They're trying to pry some of that away from the right front and try to get Yarborough back into this race, but at lap 198, with 2 to go, NASCAR cleanup crew is trying to hurry their efforts in turn number 2. We'll try to run this last lap under green, Barney.
I hope they can, and it is a shame indeed that the caution had to come out this late in the race with 8 cars running in the lead lap just about a couple of car lengths apart. It would have been a wing-ding finish and may still well be, because with Allison out front, riding in second is Harry Gant, third is Benny Parsons, fourth is Richard Petty. They have posted Buddy Baker as the 5th place car, although he has made an appearance on pit road, and the crowd cheers Cale Yarborough as they get a couple of wheels on his car, pull off those shredded tires and wheels, and he goes back onto the racetrack.
Well, the white flag comes out with the caution from Harold Kinder, and there's one more turn around to go with the safety car leading the field.
Mike, we should say there is still at this point 6 or 8 cleanup crew members out here in turns 1 and 2, and they've got a whole boatload of sheet metal to clear away, and to do all that much in this quick a time. They were there virtually before the cars stopped after the spin, but there was just so much cleanup to be done. It was almost too tough a task here in 2 laps.
Mike, as Darrell Waltrip comes up into turn 3, his right rear tire is completely disintegrating, throwing pieces off. Wonder if he can make that last lap.
Now, Waltrip still posted on the lead lap. Scoring, we'll have to sort this one out. Fred Krantz is on the scoring loop trying to get a rundown as they're posted on the board. Allison is the leader as they go down the backstretch for the final time. Harry Gant will be the bridesmaid for the 4th time this season. Incredibly, he has yet to win a race and has been so close so many times, including today. Benny Parsons will wind up in 3rd. Richard Petty is posted as the 4th place car. He has made a pit stop under this caution period, as Buddy Baker, who is posted in 5th, spent a long time getting off the wall up in turn number 2. Yarborough and Waltrip apparently will both limp around and be able to complete the distance. But it is, well, it's sort of like kissing your sister to see one end this way, Barney, that has been so close and so competitive right down to the end.
Well, I think the fans were sitting on the edge of their seats and wondering who would win this one here this afternoon at Michigan International Speedway. As we said, there were 8 cars running just about a car length apart with about 7 or 8 laps to go when the caution came out. So it is indeed a tragedy that they couldn't finish it under green. Here comes the field out of turn number 4 with a pace car leading them down under caution, and this one will end under the caution, the Gabriel 400, and Bobby Allison will win it. Allison gets a great cheer from the crowd as they come across, and again, Harry Gant, as you pointed out, will finish in 2nd position, as he has so many times this season. Finishing 3rd will be Benny Parsons. Richard Petty will run 4th, and they're still indicating that Buddy Baker will be the 5th place car. We'll get a further rundown in a moment. And Bobby Allison has won the Gabriel 400. He'll be coming onto pit road and heading into victory lane, and have a chance to talk with Ned Jarrett in a moment.
Well, they voted Rick Wilson the winner of the Goodies Headache Award, $250 for the driver experiencing the biggest headache during the running of the event. Wilson blew an engine and was the first car out of the race after only 3 laps. It's been a frustrating series for the rookie contender. They did the voting, of course, before this lap 196 crash that involved Yarborough, Baker, Waltrip, Earnhardt, Lake Speed, and Roger Hamby, and everyone heads for the garage area, save for Benny Parsons, who has accomplished what in Steve Wade's grandstand commentary of 2 weeks ago said would be a tough order, winning 2 races for the same sponsor. Allison won the season opener at Riverside, California. He won again at Talladega for new sponsors on each occasion, and he won at Charlotte in the first race with Hardee's painted on the side of the car. So he's finally done what the Harry Ranier team has not been able to do through 4 sponsors, and that's win a race twice for the same one. Morgan Shepherd's Performance Connection crew has beaten Buddy Baker's Uno team for the Sears Craftsman Pit Crew Award today. The margin of victory in that instance was 24.6 seconds. So a fine job turned in by Morgan Shepherd's rookie crew to take those honors. As that car heads for victory lane, let's go up to Eli Gold quickly. His choice for the Pete Coolest Move of the Race Award.
It's so tough. How do you pick one 4-car battle and a survivor out of another 4-car battle? I say let's pick maybe Buddy Baker. Before the incident near the late part of the race, all of a sudden he was showing his full hand. He had that extra horsepower. He was working well. He was among the leaders. We hadn't talked much about him earlier in the day, so for hanging on and being around when it counted before those last couple of lap problems, Buddy Baker.